Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutalis on Discord.
This is Aaron. I go by Treffenwood on Discord.
This is Josh. I go by Grumelzog on Discord.
You'll be filling in for Parker this week, so your job title is Tardiness Executioner. Beware.
I can do that.
Cool.
Can I do it with a sword? Is that allowed? Does it matter?
I mean, as long as Parker's first on your list, I don't really care.
It's a blunt sword too, so it'll take me a couple swings.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I've been building much terrain last few days, and I just turn on something in the background. That way there's some show I've watched like 5 times. And it's just going in the background while I'm doing stuff. That way I'm not too distracted, but it's also not boring. And I have not watched a show with commercials in quite a while. Because pretty much everything I watch is on streaming something. So, but I guess Hulu still has commercials, which is dumb. I did not know there were so many medical commercials. Or maybe it's just a Hulu thing.
It's just streaming TV thing, yes.
Okay. It's crazy to me that every 5 minutes there's a commercial break. And it's just 5 consecutive medical ads. And it's like the same 2 diseases that it's always arthritis or Crohn's. Those are the only 2 things they make medicine for anymore, apparently. I don't know if you guys knew that. But the best part is it's the same company with different drugs treating the same illness.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, did you try this drug? Did it not work? Then instead try this drug we also make. And I was like, wow. Do you really need to advertise to the same group? It was just crazy to me, but I'm just out of the loop, I guess.
I think we're one of the few countries in the world that even
lets that happen.
That happen. Everywhere else, it's no, go talk to your doctor. Don't listen to what
exactly.
the TV says.
Yeah, there's I think his name's Dr. Mike, but there's a Twitter doctor where he just goes through and talks about random. He basically just has social media as a doctor, and he just talks about stuff. But one of the ones he says, the craziest shit that ever happens to me is I'll just be sitting and somebody will come in and be like, hey, can I get this drug? And you're like, what? What do you mean? Why are you asking for a specific drug? It's I Googled my symptoms and it sounds like I have what they talked about in this commercial. And I'm like, please stop watching TV.
Yep, 100%.
Do not take medical advice from commercials, please.
Or Google. I'm really bad about it. I'll be like, man, this thing. And I go to Google, it's like, man, you died 5 minutes ago. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
You're already dead. I'm like, okay.
WebMD just
Cool.
has an autofill box of cancer as the top result. It's just no matter, do you have skin irritation? Cancer.
Yep.
Do you have hot sweats? Cancer. Doesn't matter. Always cancer. But the thing that I still can't get over is that they have to put in the ad that if you're allergic to the medicine, you shouldn't take it. It's in every one of the ads. It's funny.
I also love the if you're pregnant, don't take this. If you're taking heart medication, don't take this. There's a list of things. It's I really hope you knew that beforehand. But
right, and that's obviously you should talk to your doctors up, but that's clearly lawsuit liability forced into it. And I can understand that because when you do the trials, you generally don't do drug trials on pregnant women. That's kind of obvious, right? You wouldn't try that. And so a lot of the time it's due to the fact that they don't have research on what happens if you're pregnant and you take it. Or maybe they just know that there's going to be a bad reaction. And so it could be either one. So I understand putting that in there when they're like, well, we don't know that this is safe and we're not allowed to test it. So it's officially not safe.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. But the don't take the thing you're directly allergic to in a commercial is just beyond idiotic to me. I don't understand the logic behind that. Anyway, so those are the commercials I've been watching. How about you guys?
I don't watch television, but I will be watching Andor on Monday. I'm a big I'm real picky with what I watch. And
whoa. You said you don't watch TV, so that clearly you can't.
Okay,
watch
so
Andor.
I do watch some TV, but it's I will watch less than an hour of television in a week generally. And then I just wait for I waited for Andor to come all the way out, and I'm like, cool. I have Monday off for Memorial Day. I will be watching Andor for 7 hours straight, 8 hours straight, whatever it takes. Then watch the show start to finish, be good, and not have to watch TV again for a couple months. So
cool. Yeah, I was a big fan of Andor season 1.
Yes, I started watching it, and then I can't remember why I stopped, but I went back and restarted it and was just obsessed. It's what Star Wars should have been kind of doing all along. But I like it. So, because I loved Mandalorian season 1. Probably watched it like 4 or 5 times. Season 2 was good, and then like by season 3, I was kind of like, okay, this feels gratuitous. I like the Western kind of like villain of the week. Each thing is self-contained. Like,
So, being at the game store every day, I have a unique perspective on like how things are liked, I guess, because people only talk about stuff they either really like or really hate, or like the thing of the day. And so I think a lot of people had trouble initially getting into the show because it's so disjointed at the beginning, because there's like weird time skips and it's not like one flowing story at the beginning, and there's like 3 episode chunks where like the whole plot changes out of nowhere. And so I think it caught a lot of people off guard at first, but I don't think I've met anyone who said that's watched it all the way through and didn't like it. Like everyone likes it in the end. But yeah, I think Andor is my favorite piece of Star Wars media so far. Like it's the only time they've made any effort to like build the world beyond like a very zoomed in aspect of the universe.
yeah,
That's like, obviously that's their moneymaker, right? Like Jedi is like the big thing.
always.
And it's not that I dislike Jedi or they can't be involved in the story, but like I want to know what's on the other side of the wall they're standing in front of. Like I want to see the world, not just hear the story, if that makes sense.
Did you watch?
And Andor's the only show that's done that for me.
Did you watch Visions?
No.
It's kind of hit or miss. Some of them are pretty meh, but there are some really cool Star Wars Visions ones. Like if you watch The Ronin, I bought the comic books for it. It's so cool. Like it's so well done. It's basically them going to like all of the famous animation studios in the world and saying, "Hey, make us a 30-minute Star Wars show about in your animation style." They pretty much gave them carte blanche to like write about whatever they wanted, and I would say it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I just haven't given it a try.
Did you start Savage Avengers yet?
Nope.
Bro, you're missing out. It's so good.
I know.
Once you start it, you're gonna love it because it has.
I know I'm gonna like it. I just don't. I don't have time where my eyes aren't occupied doing something.
That's very fair.
Yeah. Aaron, have you watched Andor season 2?
I have not.
Do you plan on watching Andor season 2?
I do. I typically do a streaming platform, and I watch what I have to watch on that platform, and then move to a new one. So right now I'm still on Paramount. I finished Tracker, which is very meh, and then
But you liked it before. Did it get bad, or just get repetitive?
I didn't like it before. It is a totally fine. The opposite of Serial.
Episodic.
Sure. I want to call it, couch trash. It's totally fine to watch while I'm working out. But I would not. There are many better options to be had out there. So I would recommend probably something else. I just was pot committed halfway through. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna finish this. So I did. And now I'm on 1923. I think episode 4. And then I will be done with everything Taylor Sheridan has ever written or produced that I care to watch at all.
Did you watch Tulsa King?
Nope.
I actually liked it, but it's different than the other shows he does. It feels like lower production value, but it's the same formula.
Yeah. I am not a big fan of the Western soap opera that all 3 of his shows that I've seen are.
I would say it kind of breaks that direct mold. Okay. It's kind of like, gray area where like that's kind of his shtick. He's like, I'm gonna write a show where the main characters are not good guys; they're in the middle somewhere, and then he basically picks a not washed up but like or has been but like old actor that doesn't get a lot of work anymore, and like tries to revitalize like how they're seen in shows. And so it's either Sam Elliott or
not sure he's revitalizing Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's not. That's not what he's doing. I'm just saying, like he picks like a really famous actor that doesn't do a lot of stuff anymore and puts them in like the main role of the show, and that works, right? They carry everybody around them until the show kind of gets going on its own. But the thing I liked about Tulsa King probably the most is it's the least Western of the shows he's made that I've seen.
And I like Western. I just don't like the soap opera. That's what I could do without.
Yeah.
Over the top, suspend disbelief, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're all definitely gonna. I'd say the Tulsa King's probably the least realistic of them, where it's just like, yeah, this would never work.
Considering I hate Yellowstone for that fact, I won't be watching. Again, I have no plans to watch Landman or Tulsa King or anything else until someone just like screams from the rooftop that it's amazing.
Landman's solid. It's weird that you dislike parts of Yellowstone. I don't know. I just haven't narrowed down what your jam is for TV shows. Because you'll like something, and then clearly you'll like it for a different reason than I do. Because then I'll recommend something else, and you'll be like, oh, I didn't like that. I'm like, but it's the same thing. Like, it's like, I don't know what's. He's like, it's bad. We're like, all right, like it's fine. I just don't understand where we're missing on the wavelengths.
I mean, police and crime dramas are right up my alley.
Yeah, but you like realistic stuff, and every police crime drama is ridiculously unrealistic. Like, so they're all like, why are you the only cop that has to deal with national terrorism every day, and you work in like Monon, Indiana? Like, come on, bro. Like, there's no way you work with the NSA and the FBI and the CIA like on a weekly basis. You pull your gun every 3 minutes on your shift. Like, come on.
I can physically never watch cop shows or any kind of law enforcement related ones. Just because, like, how old am I? I was like 20 and I got really sick. And I didn't know why I was sick, but I stayed at home and I was like, I would just turn on the TV and be too weak to do anything. And I just watched too many hours of Law and Order SVU. And I was so mad watching this show. I'm just like, stop doing these things. Why? You can't just shoot people that you want to shoot. I get they're a bad guy, but like, there are rules. And then, but I just never had the energy to change the channel. So,
did you ever watch Blue Bloods? I know I've asked you this before. I think you said no.
I don't even know what that is, honestly.
I have not.
It's a cop drama, but it's Tom Selleck is basically the police chief, and then like his whole family's like in law enforcement in some capacity. It's like his dad used to be police chief, and his son is a detective. His other son is a beat cop, and like his daughter is an assistant DA or whatever. So they're all so basically the show is designed around they have every level of the criminal organization in one family, and so everything's from the perspective of the family and how they deal with a case at every step along the way. That way, it's just a way for them to have all the characters be, there's a reason they all talk to each other, as opposed to it just being any other show where it's like they talk to each other because they work together. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's fine, but really it's just that like Tom Selleck carries the show and everybody else is just kind of there. Yeah, I don't think there's any law enforcement based show that I've seen that hasn't been like ridiculously unbelievable in some aspect.
So the thing is, I am waiting for them to, I mean, Hollywood is kind of creatively bankrupt currently, but like, get fucking weird with it, dude. Like, make a futuristic space cop, not RoboCop, but like futuristic space cop, or I don't know, like. I
mean, Fringe is really good. Do you ever watch Fringe?
No.
It's just sci-fi police show.
I would give that a look. Like, that would be interesting to me.
It's basically a spiritual successor to the X-Files. There's a secret government organization, not the FBI. They're like a subsect of the FBI, and they go around and investigate what they call fringe crime, which is shit that shouldn't be happening but is happening. So like, there's like bad scientists and shit that get up to crazy stuff, and like they investigate that kind of stuff.
That's right up my alley. Like, I like to watch weird stuff. So
yeah. The whole premise of the show, though, is there's the guy, the main character's dad, who's in the show, and he's like the mad scientist that works with them that tells them how this stuff could be done, and that's how he's like basically their confidential informant in the show. But he's crazy. They like the first episode they pick him up from an insane asylum, and he's been there for years.
Fantastic.
And everyone just assumed he was crazy, but actually all the shit he thought that he was telling people about was real. But back in, I want to say it was the 80s, he built a like dimensional portal machine and went to another reality, and that caused like an incursion from MCU where it's like shit started going bad, and then that's when he lost his mind. because he's like, I did all this terrible stuff. It's my fault that things are going bad. And then he went crazy and
What'd you
ended up
say
in
it
the
was
same
called?
asylum. Fringe came out in the early 2000s.
Okay.
I really like it. It's got
that
5
sounds
seasons.
like right up my alley. Yeah.
No, I like it a lot. I like all the actors in the show.
J.J. Abrams, Alex Kurtzman.
Did he do that? I didn't know he did that. That's cool.
It says it's an American science fiction series created by J.J. Abrams, Alex Kurtzman, and Robert Orci.
No, yeah, I really like Fringe. I definitely think it's worth a watch for anyone who likes TV sci-fi.
I think is this the guy?
I still think Person of Interest is the best TV show.
It's your area.
Yeah, probably. It's probably not the best one ever written, but I really, really like it.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe then what you might need in a show is you need it to be you need it to be fiction. Like it needs to be obviously not real for you to be able to suspend disbelief. If it's based on people that are supposed to be normal and then it's not normal, I think it irks you.
So I have a recommendation for you, Aaron.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll be up your alley. This is one of my favorite shows of all time. It is on HBO. It's called Primal, and it is beautifully done. It's an animated show, so if that's a no-go, but it's like an adult animated show, right?
I know what show you're talking.
And it's a story.
Nope.
No, you don't think he'll like it?
No, I don't.
Is it going to be too artistic? I don't know. I don't know Aaron's taste. Because I love it. I watched it like back to back to back to back.
I'm sure you did.
I bought the DVD the day.
I would recommend Primal to you. I would not recommend it to Aaron.
Oh.
This is the caveman show, right? Are you still there? Hello? Oh, we might have lost him. Okay, so I'll Google it real quick, but if it's the show I'm thinking of, it's like Conan the Barbarian, the anime.
Okay.
Yeah, the main character is like caveman barbarian, and he hangs out with dinosaurs and kills people, and that's the show.
I'm willing to give any show an episode or two, right?
Yeah. And then he just goes around and just basically murder porns everybody. Like
that sounds like Invincible or The Boys.
No, there's plot in those. There's actually a lot of plot.
Okay.
Here we go. Yeah, here's the synopsis based on IMDb. A caveman and a dinosaur bond over their shared tragedy and work together to survive in the perilous prehistoric world.
It's a beautiful story. And there is only one word spoken in it.
If you don't like dialogue, you might like it.
It's good. I like it. It's got everything you want.
It's
basically like a Madman's Dungeons and Dragons without like...
Josh, have you seen Persons of Interest? Just say no. We can move on. Did we lose him again? We lost him again.
I'm back.
He's having
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen Persons of Interest?
I'm here. Nope.
Okay, that's what I assumed. Because when he was like, my favorite show of all time is Persons of Interest, you're like, you'd like Primal. I'm just making sure that there was a reason you said that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put it out there. That's all.
Actually, I want a community census. If you've seen both of these shows and like both of them, call the mental health hotline because you need serious assistance.
That's funny.
Well, Josh, I would say if I had to pick shows that I liked off the top of my head, House, Bones, Castle, Alias.
House was fun. I mean, you'd like The Rookie if you like Castle.
I like The Rookie.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's on my due. I watched like the first 4 seasons or so.
I actually just finished it this week. Well, I guess it's still a live show.
I want to keep
I
watching it. Yeah.
I didn't realize it's in the middle of a season right now because I'm pretty sure I watched all of what was out, and then the new other episode popped up today, and I was like, oh, I thought it was over.
So that's like the level of what I consider like TV smut. Like,
okay,
I'm not going to say this is like good TV, but if I need something to watch while I'm painting or working out, those are money. And then you have like good TV like Breaking Bad. That's just like legitimately sit down and watch this. It's just great TV, or
No, yeah, there's stuff that's meant to be on while you're doing things, like as a background noise, like almost like having music on kind of thing. And then there's stuff that you want to sit down and enjoy, and that's definitely not where I would put any of the TV dramas.
Yeah. No, having said that,
any of the crime dramas. Yeah. But doesn't mean you can't enjoy them.
Yep.
Like I like a lot of anime that's
Yep.
written for children, so like that doesn't mean
They can all be my
I can't
guilty
watch
pleasure.
it and
I'm
enjoy
okay
it.
with that.
I play video games while I paint, so when I really do it.
Wait, you play video games while you paint?
Yep, I play.
That explains a lot. Okay.
Yes, but I do a lot of like 4X games. So I do Stellaris or Crusader Kings or Dwarf Fortress, where
Sure.
it's you just let the game run, and then every so often you pause and organize things, and then do it again. Or Warhammer or Total War.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can paint in between turns.
Okay.
Aaron, your name Treffenwood is from Sword of Shannara, right? We've talked about this
Correct.
series. Did you watch the Sword of Shannara television series?
I did not.
Okay, I was just curious. I
don't think it was
you'll
on
like
a
it.
platform.
I think last time I watched it, it was on Netflix because it was like
it was like have
M-
Netflix, so
it was like MTV made it or something wild, and then it
Okay.
ended up on Netflix. But I just had that thought. It was. It's okay. Don't.
Fair enough.
It's like Austin Butler's or whatever his name is first role, and he's running around. So I need to read those books sometime too. They're on the short list.
Cool.
You know which show is better than I thought it would have been? That's like waiting for another season.
Hell's Kitchen.
Space Force.
Oh.
Not Hell's Kitchen. Space Force was fun.
Okay.
Space Force.
Have you guys not watched it?
No, I told you.
I thought everybody had seen it.
I don't watch television.
I guess that's fair. It's a Netflix show.
Quest for the
It
Deep
is
Star.
starring Steve Carell, who is a general in the military, the Air Force, I think.
No, is that the one?
And then he gets, in the first episode, he gets promoted to the General of Space Force.
Yes.
And he thought he was going to be promoted to be like in charge of one of the other branches of the military. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is a joke. And he's like, this isn't a joke. This is very serious. And so he gets put in charge of Space Force. And his head scientist is John Malkovich. And they have an amazing chemistry on the show. And it's just them trying to run their sham of an organization into being something useful, and they fail at every turn. And they're just like, this is the stupidest thing we've ever done as humans. And it's just them running Space Force. And it's like C-Lab meets NASA. I don't know, it's crazy. It's very funny. Every episode is just a bunch of satire about how silly their organization is.
I feel like I haven't heard about Space Force in years now. I feel like I remember like, I was out and and then like I've just not read a single piece of news.
Well, it's just a short show, and so I think a lot.
But I
of
mean,
people
like
just kinda
like the
watch it.
literal Space Force.
You mean the
like
actual
entire-
Space Force?
Yeah,
the
because
branch of our military that now exists that I've
What have
not
you-
heard
no, the
anything
sh-
about, which could
the
be good,
show
could be
Space
bad.
Force
but,
has
like,
accomplished more than the actual Space Force. I'm sure. I haven't checked, but I'm 100% confident in that statement.
I will have to give that one a look then. It's like humor.
Yeah, it's like The Office meets NASA.
Because have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not that satire-y, because like it is a show. It's not like found footage like The Office, but no, it's just great because it's a lot of people. Half the characters are straight characters, and they're playing off of the ridiculousness of everything going on around them. And but yeah, the situations they're put in are just ridiculously silly, and they always get sent in stuff like orders down the chain of command, where it's like, all right, you have to send AK-47s into space. And they're like, why? And they're like, well, to defend the moon. And they're like, that's not real. We can't, like, you know how expensive it is to send AK-47s into space? Like, it's so stupid. But it's like, nope, you have to do it. And they're like, oh my god. It's like, where are we going to get the budget for this? And so they're like selling things out of their fucking headquarters to try and afford the gas.
That's
just stupid shit like that. But yeah, just the way that Steve Carell and John Malkovich play off each other is hilarious. And there's a bunch of really good sporting characters as well.
You know, I just remembered, didn't John Malkovich make a movie that won't be out for 100 years?
Yes. Yeah.
Absurd. Narcissistically absurd.
I mean, I don't know if he made it, but he's in it.
He's in it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'm like, cool, you made art. Like, that's neat. I hope it is never found and gets lost in a warehouse somewhere. And then
The movie is called 100 Years,
Yeah.
and it will come out in 2115. The movie that you will never see is the tagline.
Yeah, let's market this thing we can't profit off of for 100 years.
I mean, isn't it like promoting like a liquor or something that they age Yeah, to promote Louis the 13th cognac that is going to be aged for 100 years. It's locked in a safe for an entire century with the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure
Fucking
thing. Fucking.
It's a publicity stunt.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
nonsense. Be hilarious if they open it, there's no actual movie. They're like, no, we just figured you guys wouldn't make it this far.
Mm-hmm.
We do get 28 years later pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that could be cool.
I'm very excited.
I wasn't into the 28 Days Later franchise for a long time, and then I finally actually sat down and watched them. I was like, oh, these are actually pretty good.
I was quite obsessed for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, finally getting more. And not only that, but we get one in June, and then we'll get the next one in either December or January.
What do you mean? There's 2 coming out?
There's 3. There's a trilogy to finish the series.
Oh,
and
wait, so over the last 25 years, we've gotten 2 movies.
Yes.
And now we're getting 3
Yes.
in like a year.
Correct.
That's good. They've got good pacing.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm down. That'll be a day oneer IMAX for me if I can make it. So.
Mm-hmm. You know what I want to go see right now?
Sinners?
What? No. Thunderbolts.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, because nobody ever wants to go, and I feel lame. It's not like I don't want to go to a movie by myself. It just feels wasteful. It's like, well, if no one's going to go with me, I'll just wait.
Oh, I go to
it'll
movies.
be on Disney Plus in a month.
I go to movies by myself all the time.
No, it's not that I don't want to go. It's just like with how busy I am, it feels wasteful to take 3 hours out of my day to go do something when I'm working on a project, and it's like, well, that could have been 3 hours I spent on this.
But I would recommend Thunderbolts. Like, we have
I've heard good things. I want to see it. I don't want to go spend $25 to see it by myself.
We have a familial tradition that we go see every Marvel movie opening weekend, and we have done so since.
You guys rethink that at any point?
No, we have gone. I have went and seen the good and the bad. I've seen every single one opening weekend since Iron Man. So
very nice.
We plan like a month in advance. We make sure schedules are clear. The whole thing.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited for Fantastic Four. Think it'll be good. And then
I'm avoiding spoilers.
Hopefully fantastic.
I'm expecting a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I'm kind of 6 out of 10. That's how I feel about the new Superman as well. So
yeah, I don't know what it is or what happened along the way, but it used to be when I was a kid, I was absolutely god awful at like predicting if I was going to like a movie or not. And part of that is like obviously you're a kid, and so like you don't have a frame of reference for like what bad acting is really. And you're just like, I just know I didn't like it, and I don't know why. But like you did now, then as you get older, you start noticing smaller details and understanding the correlation why you didn't enjoy it. But like just like a light switch when after I got out of high school, I immediately knew if I was going to like a movie or not. And I don't understand what it is about my perception of like watching a trailer or watching. I just look at a movie poster, like, no, I'm not going to see that. Like I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know if I just like have identified the actors I like or the directors I like, and subconsciously, because I don't pay attention to directors, like I can just like look at like random ads. I'm like, yeah, I'll like that movie, and I haven't been wrong in so long that I can't remember the last movie. Actually, I remember the last movie I was disappointed by, which in hindsight is ridiculously bad. I should have known instantly that it was going to be terrible. But ever since then, I can't think of anything where I've been like, oh god, I don't want to say it so bad. See No Evil, I think is what it was called.
Oh, that sounds like
See No Evil. It's really bad. It's a horror movie, and I don't like horror movies, but it had my favorite wrestler in it, so I was like, oh, this gotta be good. It's Kane from WWE. It's I think the only movie he was in at that point. But yeah, he basically plays a axe murderer guy in like a old industrial plant. But anyway, yeah, the movie was god awful.
I've been really liking is it Robert Eggers? His horror movies.
Robert Eggers. I don't generally like horror movies at all.
So I don't either, but his are very atmospheric, and it's less about like jump scare, blood, gore going on, and he just like slowly, he knows how to like raise your anxiety throughout the whole movie, just by like having interesting characters in an interesting setting. and he's phenomenal.
Here, I'll just Google it. What's it? What did
No,
you say his name was?
I think it's Robert Eggers. It's like Nosferatu, The Lighthouse, The Witch. You should. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything he's done.
But yeah, I would kind of agree with you. Like, I generally can go to a movie, and for me, it's just turning off my brain to be entertained. Like, I go see, even if it's by myself, every new Godzilla movie because I love kaiju films. Like, if they had kept making Pacific Rim, they could be on Pacific Rim, like Fast and the Furious, like Pacific Rim 14. The Power of Friendship, and I'm there opening weekend to watch The Power of Friendship beat the aliens. But I actually lived with my last roommate I lived with. He was a huge movie guy. Like, he's one of those guys that he had like 2 or 3 bookshelves full of DVDs. He went and bought a giant television. He could tell you every writer, director, all of it.
Yeah, like his hobby was movies.
His hobby was movies. He would come home from work, and he would watch 2 or 3 movies a night. He watched everything. And so when I watched movies with him, it did kind of change the perspective of how I started watching films, because like he was like, "Oh, the lighting is great," or this, and like he understood the mechanics of a movie.
Yeah, the cinematography and everything.
Everything. And I was like, "Oh man, like I'd never thought to watch a movie that way before." And you can't do it with everything. Like, you can't really do that with a Marvel film, right? It's just there to be interested. But now I can go watch those, like, indie art house films and be like, okay, I appreciate what you're doing. Like, I understand the mechanics of how you're trying to make me feel a certain way. And it makes it enjoyable.
Yeah, I can't think of anything I would define as a horror movie that I've enjoyed. Like beyond just it was a movie. And it's not that like I just don't like see the value in watching it like a suspense movie where it's like you're supposed to just be on edge for 90 minutes. I'm like, I don't know why. I just like I'm on edge, but then like, okay, like I don't know, that wasn't particularly enjoyable. I wasn't like afraid, or I wasn't like moved by it. So it's just like, I don't know, it's not compelling for me, and so. I don't know. It's probably my lack of ability to connect with the characters in the movie.
You might
like I watched Alien Romulus recently, and it's kind of more like the first Alien, where it's like they're afraid of the monster and they're trying to get around it. They're not trying to fight it. They're just trying to escape. But there's the typical, horror movie girl that keeps falling down and making terrible choices. And I'm just like, the whole time she's in the movie, I'm just like, please die. Like, please die. I'm so tired of you being a trope and being annoying. It's like, just die. I want you off the screen. And it's like, that's all I could think about the entire time.
I would agree. That's part of actually similar mentality of why I struggle to watch action films, because it requires a suspension of disbelief that I am just not capable of. Like, is it Olympus Has Fallen?
I hadn't seen any of those. There's like 3 of those White House
that's one of
bodyguard
the
movies.
Few movies where I made it maybe 25 minutes in and I had to stop watching. I was angry because as soon as they let a fucking man with a gun next to the president, which I don't think they do, okay? No. B, they assault the White House and like no one knew this was going on. But the thing that fucking broke me is they pop down like trash compactors or something, so no one can like get past them. Okay, and there's machine guns, and they fucking pop out the machine guns of the trash compactor, like shooting. The Secret Service leaves a fortified position where they had control of the access points to charge across the fucking White House lawn to engage in small arms fire. And I was so viscerally upset by this. I was like, this is bad. This is someone who doesn't understand the basic concept of like fire lanes and strategy.
Clearly you just hired yes men and nobody stopped you because you wanted this scene. You wanted the visual of them charging the spot,
and they get
no
mowed,
logical reason to do that.
They get mowed down. I was like, "This is terrible. I cannot fucking finish this movie because it makes no sense."
It does annoy me a lot, and that tends to be more of a thing with older movies, and because nowadays there's enough people involved in the process. Somebody says something, it's like, "Hey, you should probably hire an expert to like choreograph this for you because this is stupid."
Yeah. God, I hate that movie.
The thing that usually gets me is, and Aaron probably knows about this. I don't know if it bothers him as much as it bothers me. In the like a lot of these law enforcement dramas where it's like there's every episode somebody gets taken hostage or held at gunpoint, and they always like surrender their weapon immediately, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'll just assume you won't kill me once I've given up." Like it's like what? It's like this would never ever no one would ever surrender their weapon in a hostage situation.
Yep, that's
like,
that's the
so
kind of
silly.
Shit that just breaks.
And it always like it just always works out. Like, and then it's like so like they slowly put their gun down on the floor, and then later because there's no way out of the situation unless they write a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing, and so then they have to like dive for the weapon, grab it, roll, and shoot the bad guy behind cover, and you're like, or you could have just shot him the first time without this dramatic. It's just like a trope now that everyone has to do it. And it's just like in Supernatural, in every episode where they pull a gun on somebody, they have to knock the gun out of their hand. It's just like, oh my god, please stop. This is not interesting anymore after the 800th time you've done it.
The only time I ever find that acceptable is if someone monologues. If you're going to give me a good, solid, evil villain speech monologuing,
there's
like, okay, I'm down for it.
Important exposition that needs to happen. And this was the way you determined to do that. But it's just like these cheap writing booths just churn out scripts that just say, and then they give up their gun and are held hostage. You're like, what?
Do they have like the magic bullet thing too? Where just no one ever misses and somehow the good guy never gets shot? He's just like waiting. He's like waiting through an open lane, just fucking tap, like one-shotting people as he advances.
That does happen in a lot of shows. Is there a specific show you're talking
No,
about?
I just know it's a trope.
It is a trope, especially in like daytime TV, because not only would it be more expensive to have the special effects showing them get shot, but then they'd have to explain why the character isn't shot in the next episode, and that would be way more complex and difficult. And so usually a main character getting injured is a big deal in a TV show.
You know what cop show would hook me right away? Same concept, futuristic. A friggin' Judge Dredd show.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
but it could also be terrible.
It could be terrible. But sometimes terrible is good. And I'm there for it.
Aaron, do any of these tropes bother you?
No.
No?
I mean, depends how deep they go into the trope, right? Like, you're probably sure that you're, in your procedural drama, your main character is not going to get, taken out by a bullet in episode 6. It's just not going to happen. But they have to have suspense somehow. And so they get in a fight. And yes, it would be nice if... I understand it's not going to be super realistic, but the less they bend reality, the better. Mm-hmm. But I guess I understand what they need to do. And they're never going to get there to where it's perfect. So that doesn't bother me all that much.
I can see that logic. For me, it's just like, why did you escalate this situation to the point where it's unrealistic that they could have succeeded? Like, completely unrealistic that this could have happened, correct? Like, like perfect examples, like what Josh was saying. It's like, well, the only thing left to do is charge 5 guys in cover with my handgun. And you're like, no, like, don't. Like, why did you put him in this situation if that wasn't going to be the case? Yep. So yeah, it's just odd. I think the thing that immediately turns me off more than anything else as far as media tropes goes is the villain or antagonist that is given unbelievable like plot armor to the point where they're able to influence situations they should have no control over. And so I think the first time I experienced this character was Umbridge from Harry Potter, the really annoying like a plant professor from the Ministry. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, despite her having no actual apparent power of her own right, she's given this power by other people who just take her word for everything she says, and no one checks on anything. And then nobody else in the world is ever given the same courtesy. It's always just for her for some reason, and it always annoyed me. But in a lot of times in other shows, you'll have like inept criminal, that gets away from the police or something, is on the run, and it's like later on they'll go to confront this person, and miraculous series of events, they get the cop's gun, and even though they have like no actual ability to like get the cop's gun outside of these horrifically unlikely circumstances, and now that there's this whole other problem, it's like, oh, come on. It's like you would have to write yourself into a corner just to make this event happen. It just always feels so forced. I hate that so much.
I can understand that. Did you ever watch do you like it, but flip side, do you like evil mastermind villain trope? Like a Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes, where he's just like he's like, oh, I've already set up all the dominoes in order, and I know what you're going to follow.
It has to feel earned, but yes, I don't mind that at all. So like the Joker from Dark Knight, I think they went too far, but it's still very enjoyable. It's just like, if you try to dissect it at all, it's like, there's no way this person could have predicted all these things. But it's fine because it was done well enough and it felt earned in the moment that it was okay. But that's like the hard limit to what I will accept. And when it's like every other Batman thing is like, well, I knew 3 weeks ago you were going to decide to turn left today. And I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you've lost me. Like, can you give me an example of one of these people?
Oh, like Moriarty is the evil mastermind.
Moriarty's the easy one, yeah.
What's another good one?
I think I've liked every Moriarty I've seen.
The problem is, Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. I fucking loved Littlefinger.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Loved Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. He was a bastard. But he was one of those, like, he was like, yeah, dude, I'm just paying everyone to work for me, and I've set up this chain of dominoes, and he does get his just desserts. But,
spoilers.
If you haven't watched it by now, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
I was going to watch it, but now
I'm on season 10, so go fuck yourself.
I think there's only 8 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm on season...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm on season 10 of the other one. Walking Dead.
House of Dragons? Walking Dead.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm
on season
okay.
6. The last couple episodes of season 6.
Another show.
I actually...
Go ahead, Brandon.
Just finished Walking Dead not too long ago, and apart from a dip in like the early middle, I actually liked the whole show.
So I think it's either season 3 or 4 broke me, and it's when they're in the prison. And I had to stop watching because they did absolutely nothing to fortify their defensive position. They didn't build plywood walls. They clearly show that they can go out and raid the community with very little effort. And they're like, cool, we just will never fortify these flimsy fucking chain link fences that are the only thing keeping us from dying. And I was like, I would have been out there digging a trench, putting up a plywood wall. You could probably go find entire bags of unused concrete and start completing fortified wall. And you'll be safe forever. You make a walkway and you just, I've got a spear. Dead zombie, dead zombie, dead zombie, dead zombie.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that,
and
like the logic train of the logistics of let's build a base, right? Like I 100% agree. I'm playing 7 Days to Die right now. I definitely understand that. And so I completely agree with you, but the reason it didn't happen that way is the writing, right? Like it's entirely up to the writing. That's what happened. And obviously no people in that situation would make those choices. And that's because it was adapted from a comic book to a movie, and they just kind of had to go with it. But you also can't keep up the same pacing in the comic book. But here's a perfect example. You were asking about the mastermind guy, the governor. He pissed me off to no end in the show because he constantly gets away with shit that he has no right getting away from. He makes all these decisions that punish you in the long term for short-term success. Constantly he does this if you watch the show. He will lie to people that he's trying to build trust with at the drop of a hat, and not when provoked. He will just do it for no reason. He constantly lies to people's faces in ways that he can easily get caught in. Not like in really well thought out lies, just no reason lying about shit half the time. There's no way that person gets risen to power over a long period of time. Maybe he can seize power quickly, which he does a couple times in the show, and it immediately falls apart. So at least later when it immediately falls apart, it makes sense because he's psychotic and he can't even keep a fucking train of thought straight because he lies so much. But then at the same time, he's never punished for his decisions because they just decide he needs to have unrealistic amounts of power. Like,
Yep.
There's a scene where he's got Andrea, I think her name is, the blonde girl. She's escaped his facility and is traveling back to the prison. And he randomly comes across her in the forest. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, do you know how hard it is to find somebody in a forest with a day's head start on you? Like, it's ridiculous. And it finds her right as she gets to the other facility and gets missed being seen by somebody by like a hair's breadth, right? And it's just like, this is such a stupid trope. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah. There's ways to create suspense and do other things without having that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I will never go back and watch the show because I know I'll get to the compound and I'll be like, you didn't fucking fortify. I can't watch any.
They actually do fortify it, just not to the point you wanted it to be, and I understand that. But like, they do reinforce the fences. You can see it at multiple points in the show. They're building up the fences. They're building a farm. Really, the only reason the place falls is because they get attacked, like, by people. Like, they never really had a problem with the zombies. They only had a problem with people trying to invade the prison. And so I think the show, if you take it in that kind of context, it's fine. But, yeah, I would agree. Obviously, you want to build as strong defense as you can.
I play a lot of survival games, and that's the first thing I do is
I
grind to build the perfect defense, and nothing will make it through my kill zone.
Well, think about it like this. So, like, obviously, we're looking at it from a TV show perspective, but think about it like this. If the defenses fall down, they just go inside the prison.
Yeah.
And then you just stab them through the door until they're all dead, and then you can go outside again. Like, there is a fail-safe that they had fine in place. It just would have, ruined their crops or whatever if they had, broken through the fences.
I'm just saying, our ancestors a long time ago learned the first thing you do is build some nice walls around where you live.
It could be right?
A dirt mound with sharp sticks pointing out one end. Mm-hmm. That's fine. It worked. First thing you do. Then you build your castle.
They actually show it because I think every single place they live for the rest of the show has a wall.
Like
that's like the first thing you do is you build a wall.
Build a wall.
Well, so you could argue that the farm had a wall too, is just like a wooden fence.
Yeah.
And so basically every place they ever live has a wall, and so there's at least some justifiable stuff. But it's like a budget issue, right? Like they don't want to spend money to build this huge elaborate set, so they kind of just go with what's there. I mean, so I understand it. It's TV stuff. Anyway, we've been on this topic for a long time, so let's move on ahead and finish up. Sorry, Aaron, I know we're probably cannibalizing the whole podcast.
I am so upset.
I've been told by people close to me, Josh, that I am way too nice. I need to rule with an iron fist and rein you in, specifically.
Me?
Because you will basically go along with anything Parker says when he's here, so I need to make sure that doesn't happen again.
I mean, as long as he agrees that these changes were 9/11 times 10 to the future of the MCP game. So,
all right. So let's get into Mojo World. This week on Mojo World, we have martial arts movies. I just want to put in the caveat here that somebody said specifically kung fu movies. Then it was changed to martial arts movies. So I'm just putting that out there. Take that for what you will. So this week we have Josh going first. It's not often you get to pick the category and go first. Basically, you have to be a part-time guest. That's how this has to work.
Honored to be here, and I will say, I said kung fu. I saw the looks on you guys' faces. Immediately realized you had no idea what kung fu movies you're going to choose.
I know all the kung fu movies.
But my first pick is going to be Ninja Assassin.
Ninja. All right. Terrible first pick, but go ahead. Aaron, you're up.
We're going to start things off with the Karate Kid.
Which one?
The only one?
I'll accept that. The only thing you're not allowed to say is the second one. All right. So that means we're on to me, who's clearly got the best taste in kung fu movies. So I'm going to go with Kung Fu Hustle.
I don't think this was
and The Matrix. I know kung fu movies.
I would argue The Matrix is a kung fu movie.
It is. He knows kung fu.
Yeah, he knows
That's
kung fu.
why it's a kung fu movie. I don't think he didn't get the joke. I'll do it again, but this time really listen to the timing. Aaron, you're up.
I guess by that definition, I could go with Demolition Man, but I won't. We're gonna stick to tried and true Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which one?
Come on, quit asking me stupid fucking
Okay,
questions.
hold on. This one actually matters.
Ugh.
There's actually two possible answers here.
There's 3?
Not the one released in the past 20 years.
No. Well, there's many that haven't been released in the last
I know.
30
There's
years.
like
So
4 of them, right?
Yeah. Well, there's 3 of the originals that I'm aware of. But yeah, I personally am a fan of The Secret of the Ooze, but
We're just gonna go with what was the actual first one called? The
Just
original
TMNT.
movie, yes, TMNT.
Yeah. And then, Secret of the Ooze is also legit.
That is the second one. There you go.
I'm also personally partial to Turtles in Time, but most people aren't, so that's fair. Josh, your next 2 picks, make them count without taking my last movie because I only have 3.
Okay, well, the next one's going to be Kung Fu Panda. And then
I feel like this is actually just a giant gaslight project, and he's actually not wanting to do martial arts movies the whole time.
And then my final one will be Protector.
Protector. Okay, so you said you were going to name movies we had never heard of or seen. Did you really think nobody's heard of Kung Fu Panda?
Okay, so then
I'm
I
just
realized you
curious.
guys were choosing some good ones, and I was like, we're going to move up a little bit.
Good ones. Wow, okay.
Because I was like,
fired.
you've never, if I say the words Ong Bak, you've never seen that movie, I guarantee.
I'm just saying that when we announced I'm going to get fired,
Okay.
right? I'm going to get fired for when we announce real martial arts movies. You're like, Kung Fu Panda. Like, we're going to get roasted.
Well,
I just want you to be aware that I'm
better
taking this heat for
you
you,
than
and
me,
you owe
yeah.
me. Okay, Aaron, you got your third one?
I do. Mortal Kombat,
That was close.
1995, not the 2021.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Hey, you ask me every other fucking time.
That went without asking.
Sure.
Okay. I appreciate you guys leaving my third and final pick available. Kill Bill, Volume. Okay. I think we killed this list, guys. I think if we made a top 10 of all time list, we maybe only missed one. So I think we did a good job.
no, but yes, we did what we could.
So I have 3. I was waiting to see what you guys did first because I got to go last. I had a joke list that was definitely going to get me murdered. So it was going to be Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dragon Ball Evolution, and Jet Li's The One. And I was
my
literally gonna
God.
never see the end of it.
I might have had an aneurysm at my desk and just
My email would have broken from all the emails. Do you guys have any honorable mentions?
Ip Man is fantastic. And then, if you don't mind reading subtitles, there is a movie trilogy called Ong Bak. It is by an actor named Tony Jaa, and he was studied under Jackie Chan. I think he might have done some stunt doubling with him or something. And they are interesting films. But if you want to watch someone take on like 50 guys and just beat the shit out of them and just go off, go crazy, it's fantastic. It is highly entertaining.
Cool. Yeah, I've actually liked a lot of the older Jackie Chan movies I've seen. It's just, for me, they all kind of run together, so none of them really stick out. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be Jackie Chan's First Strike. But yeah, they're all great. Like, he's had a lot of amazing movies that I really liked. It's just, I don't know. I would never go back and rewatch them, but I'm also not a martial arts movie guy, if you can tell by my picks.
I'm trying to remember. Hold on. It's not Jet Li. Who am I thinking of? Because we will get crucified for not having a Bruce Lee film on here, but that's okay.
We will, but also I was not alive, I think, when he made any movies, so I don't think our audience is really the Bruce Lee movie guys.
Oh,
See, I
I'm
like-
gonna say
I could
they
be
are
wrong.
though.
I like going back and watching older films, especially when they put them on YouTube. So I see all those old Fist of Enter the Dragon.
I thought you didn't watch that much TV.
No, but like
he's out here just YouTubing movies every left and right.
Well, the thing is I have the ad blocker on YouTube on my computer, and YouTube does the free with ads. But if you have an ad blocker, they're just free movies. And so when I'm playing a video game or something, I'll have just watch movies. At least have them on the side.
I rarely ever watch television, except I watch exactly as much television as everybody else does, except for that.
It's on. I'm not always watching it.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our cinematic rambles. This has been Brandon.
And Aaron.
And Josh.
And you just listened to We Know Kung Fu Movies.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.